didn't want streams back up. I didn't want to continue from the one I was doing currently because there's about in the background. My grandma's conversation. Something this enemy because he spawns when he's not supposed to. Like, curious. Oh, he doesn't. Okay. Alright, so I guess you can only get it once off him. So what I was trying to do there was I was trying to get an item. Okay, I was trying to get... Oh, yeah. I guess... it is, I guess it's what it is. I'll try to speak more when it's quiet, as opposed to when I'm fighting stuff. Okay. So, what I was doing there was I was trying to get these items called the vermin. So what the vermin does is if you collect 5 of them, you can use them for a quest line, which lets you get an armor and a new, like a headpiece actually. It's like a little bucket over your head. And you also get like an upgraded emote, so it's pretty fun to have just as a completionist. But if you're not really looking to do the completionist run, it's better you don't follow the quest line because it gets kind of annoying. Right. So what I want to do is I just want to let those guys deal with the big guy over there. What's funny about this game is enemies sometimes aggro each other. So, and this guy, I don't want to fight him, so I'm just gonna run past him because he's crying. He's just vibing. He doesn't see me. He doesn't see me. Yeah, he doesn't see me. He doesn't see me. Alright. So, what I'm gonna do now is, I'm gonna go through the fog gate. I'm gonna fight this boss that I've kept towards the end because I really couldn't be fucked fighting him. Just because he's really fucking annoying. He's not hard per se, but he's just really bulky, and he is, how do I say this? He's fucking annoying as hell. Yeah, let's put it that way. I'll just show my build real quick. So my build, I'm at around 124. That's sort of like a PvP meta, but that doesn't really matter because I don't do PvP. I don't have online, so I don't really count. It's more of like a PvE oriented. I went for the base 50 vitality, which is really necessary to keep your defense up. And I went for the 50 strength because I'm more of like a strength-based character, and I've got put points in arcane so I can use spells and use this weapon I've been using since yesterday. It's called the Moonlight Greatsword. And what you can do is, it starts off like a regular straight sword, and then you can, the way trick weapons work is they can transform. So this one transforms into a blue greatsword, and it has increased range and higher damage. The downside to using a trick weapon transform is you can't use your left-hand weapon, which is usually a firearm. So I switch between either a gun or a cannon. I use the cannon more for firepower, as opposed to the gun. The gun's usually just used for parrying because its damage is really fucking awful. Other weapons I use are like this axe that I've used since like the start of the game. It's mainly just as a safer option that I use, like in case I can't gouge where the enemy is coming from, I just like do like a quick strike and then like a dodge away, for example. So it's just like a long range option, but it does less damage. It's more for like when I'm in the overworld, to be honest. If I'm fighting bosses, I just switch to this one because it just does more damage overall. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fight this boss, but I'm gonna summon an NPC for it. So this guy, if I summon him twice for 2 separate boss fights, I get one each of the item, of the vermin item, which I need for to complete the quest line. Normally you can get the vermin item from cooperating in online with other people, but because I can't do that due to my lack of online, I have to do it the hard way, which is doing it with the NPCs and killing the specific enemies and getting the drops off of them. It's a guaranteed drop for 3 of them that you get from the overworld, but you'd want to, but you have to do the quest with this guy for like 2 bosses. The downside is this boss I'm about to fight, and not only is he bulky as fuck, he gets even bulkier when you have summon. That applies to all bosses in which they get increased 30% health, but it sort of balances out. It's sort of like a balance because you get one other person, and that person will obviously be able to do more damage, and they'd be able to tank more hits or direct the boss's attention away. So phantoms are sometimes useful for that matter. But NPCs, they don't do damage. They're kind of just there to soak damage. But you know what? We're just doing this for the challenge. Not really challenge, right? Just for achievement points. All right. So we're just gonna have to start. So it's a big flaming gorilla motherfucker, and some really late attacks. So after he slams the ground, so the period is everything but fire exposure. But obviously it's difficult to pass out breath. It's so big, and that's not knowing which direction he's heading towards. It's hard to dodge precisely because of the delay, and which is kind of because he's so big. Yeah, all the bosses, they get kind of pissy. Like blood. So this guy, his first phase isn't too bad, but now he's gonna start playing about a bit more. He's really big, so it's hard to dodge. It's like again, because of the way those attacks work, you end up having to dodge afterwards again, because sometimes he leaves an explosion. So one minute. You wouldn't want to get to the point either, because then you can go behind you and there, now this is the tough one. It seems to now use a trail of molten fucking lava, which, if you're not careful, will drown you in if you get sunlocked. Okay. So you want to just like do some quick hits and then I'm not getting this low because there's that. And avoid his big arm. Avoid his big arm and just clockwise. Like that, yeah. But obviously you also want to be careful not touching lava, because then they come off there. This boss, again, he's not hard, but he's really, really bulky. There's never enough of a big fucking puddle of lava. Oh god. The NPC died. Yeah. I'm gonna have to restart that. That's not fun. The quest line done. So he died, we don't finish his quest line, so we're just gonna have to restart there. It's a big shame, but it is what it is. The problem with him towards the last phase is that he can't gets staggered. So the moment he starts doing his flailing attack, you just get fucked over, especially if he's in the direction of your ally. Okay, so we're gonna try and go back. The problem, I don't really like this area because the path to the boss is very straightforward. Oh god, I think I can lower the volume real quick, actually. I think that would be better. If we do it there, I think that should be fine. Alright. Yeah, I was gonna say that is the volume fine now, or should I increase it further? Probably wouldn't need too much volume because you'd get fucking ear pain from the screaming and shit. Alright. So like I was saying, the reason why I don't generally like this area is because there's a lot of enemies on a walk up, and there's no like real shortcut either, so you'd have to just end up fighting them. Another interesting mechanic of Bloodborne is that there's something called rally. So if you take damage from an attack, there is potential for you to heal back the damage you took by attacking, just counter-attacking immediately after before you get hit again. And you do this kind of not too liberally, because sometimes if you do, you'd get hit, but obviously it's risk and reward. If you get the HP back, that's great, but if you don't, then you'd end up getting combo chained or whatever. Again, with these guys, the NPCs aggro each other, so you can just let them fight each other. I can just run past. And he didn't see me. He's gonna walk back to his post, I'm pretty sure. He's gonna stay there. Okay. So we're gonna summon the guy again. Which, again, it's not much use in that fight, but you know, at least he's a walking tank. Probably what I want to do is be more aggressive that fight, probably stick to this weapon, because then being more aggressive would help keep the aggro off of him as much as he gets takes the aggro off of me. Okay, so back to the fight. I think I'll put the sound effects just a bit lower, just in case it gets way too loud. But okay, we'll just jump right back into it. So now I know he does explosions, so we can safely dodge carefully. And again, the key to find this boss is obviously staying away from his big arm, because that's where his shit comes from. Yeah, see, he tried to grab me there. I forgot to mention this last. I think I mentioned this last stream, but obviously because my white mic wasn't working, you guys didn't hear it. But what is annoying about Bloodborne is that a lot of the enemies have grab attacks, and grab attacks are annoying because you'd essentially get punished for standing still or dodging the wrong way, because then you just end up being damaged for a shit ton, and there's no real way to counter it except not getting hit. And this guy, he can be staggered for the first phase, so while he still has his legs, until he loses his legs, as visibly in the last phase. Then he just starts spewing lava, and I guess if you have no legs, then you can't be toppled over. And that's logically pretty sound, actually, even though this is stupid. So again, the rally thing, I took damage there, but I walked up and just like tried to get myself a few hits in, so I could heal back a bit. Okay. The spin attack is interesting because some bosses, they do this long-range spin attack, or like a whirl or a twirl, or yeah, stuff like that. And generally, you can dodge them by staying close to them. Not there, obviously, but you know, you get them. Oh, and I'm dead. Oops. Some of them you can kind of stay close and just hug them, but I think you also have to be quite liberal in terms of how you choose the approach. Sometimes you'd want to stay close because you know the range won't hit you, but at the same time you want to try and not stay too close either, because sometimes then they'll you mix up and stuff like that. And it's not a fighting game, but you know, it's all about the strategy. Again, with games like this, you gotta be really patient in learning the ins and outs, because otherwise you just end up rushing in and not doing anything, getting anything done. So I'm just gonna have to make the long trip all the way back. I'm just gonna ignore these mobs because I don't really need anything from them. The gems I have are probably enough. We're just gonna kill this guy because he shoots shit at you and he can chase you as well, so we're gonna just leave him there. Again, these beasts, lead them down here and then the fireball will come down and kill them all for you. It's not so much that you want to be afraid of them, but you want to be afraid of the rolling ball of death, because that'll probably do a shit ton to you as well. And then we wait for these guys again. They're gonna get 2 shots and toppled over. Oh, that guy's trying to fight him. Okay, interesting. Brave boy. I'm just gonna run past. I'll leave him alone there. And don't think he saw me. And now he's gonna turn around. Yep. Interesting thing about Bloodborne as opposed to other Souls games is that enemies don't have unlimited aggro range. So once you get out of their aggro range, or at least their line of sight, they just ignore you. They just go back to their original spots and they stop attacking, or stop chasing you for that matter. Which is really important, because sometimes some paths may not be easily accessible to the next boss, so you kind of just want to just run and just ignore them. If you want to farm for stuff, yeah, that's kind of like, you can do that, but you'd want to do farming sessions when you want to do farming sessions, because when you're going up against the boss, you kind of just want to get there as fast as possible, and then refight him as fast as you can. Right, what I want to do is I want to fight this boss with my camera unlocked, so that I don't have to, so I can make sure I keep in sight of where he is, because of his really big body. That's why I have to keep it locked on, actually, never mind. But it is tricky, because if you're not got a camera locked on, then you end up not being able to precisely, accurately see where they're coming from. But at the same time, if you have an unlocked camera, it helps if you can manually adjust yourself to... Oh god. You want to like manually adjust yourself so that you can be more easily visible. So there's a pros and cons to it. Generally, I don't enjoy fighting bosses without the camera locked on, but this is probably like a different case because he's really big. There was like another iteration of this boss, like reskinned, as the first boss of the game, but he was nowhere near as tough as this guy and nowhere near as explosive. No pun intended, because this guy's literally on fire and the first one he fought wasn't. Yeah, as you can see there, again, the spin attack, sometimes you can come in, sometimes you can't, but probably the safest way is just try and avoid it completely. This really is an endurance test, though, because you kind of have to end up accepting the fact that you get hit, as opposed to trying to dodge anything. You just accept it. You know? He doesn't do a lot, but if he does more than you can handle, then obviously you get fucked over. Endurance, really. And now it's, no, oh, he hasn't exploded yet. He should be transforming anytime now. There it is. We're gonna try and probably not use the cannon actually, but oh shit, there, that's the lava. We're not gonna use the cannon yet until he's a bit lower, just so we can make sure it doesn't go to waste. As in, I don't do enough that to the point that it. I'm gonna really have to figure out how to aggro this guy first because. Yes. It makes no sense because he just starts shitting out lava at 40% HP because he loses his legs. And it gets tough from there. I think I'm gonna have to go back to my axe option because I wouldn't have to be too close to him. It just gives like the tiny bit of range really helps. Just so that you can counterattack and get away when you need to. Every bit helps. Again, people think that Soulsborne is all about just spamming your weapon and hitting as hard as you can, but there's a lot of tactics involved too, as opposed to just randomly dodging and getting iframes from your dodges. You kind of have to make sure you prepare where you are and like position yourself correctly, use the tools at your disposal, etc., etc. So we're just gonna run through this area again. I don't like these kinds of walk-ups because what happens is you just end up having to do a lot again just for nothing actually. So yeah, we just let these guys run up and get themselves killed again. See me either, so I'm just gonna run up. I want to make sure I run up here because if I'm too close to him when he spawns, he'll just start aggroing that first enemy he sees, and he'll start attacking that guy, which I don't want him to. So yeah, he's gonna run up and follow me. I actually forgot to upgrade my axe to +10, but oh well. You know the small difference probably won't be too much of a hassle for this fight anyway. Bitch boy. What are you hitting? Probably need to remind me not to dodge after he does his first spin, just start attacking him because then he does like a wider arc. And when he attacks in a wider arc, you can kind of just end up coming near him and you'll probably miss your attack. Ah shit. Yeah, that's frustrating. Damn, he's dead again. Oh, for fuck's sake. That's not fair. We're gonna have to fucking do the thing again. Do the respawn. Peace out, my nigga. It could be a lot easier, of course, if I didn't summon the Phantom and I didn't put myself through this bullshit. But I just I want the hat, man. You know, so I can show it off later in stream. Just to show that, oh, this is a pretty cool hat, you know? It's a pretty cool metal bucket you can get. And also, you get a little spell I can use later. The spell is like it's like this gaping snake mouth thing. It'll explode from the ground and it'll hit the enemies around it. So I want to just grab that, just for completionist's sake. Like even though I probably will use it because my character's strength arcane base. So even though my magic won't do a lot, I can still use it as like an option in case shit goes south. Oh, these guys dropped something. Ooh. Alright, some pots. And, oh, trying to chase me, but I don't think they'll chase me far all the way up here, will they? Oh, this guy tried to fight me. They're chasing me up here. Oh shit. No. No. We ain't having any of that today. You good? You good. You just fuck off. You just stay there. No, I won't deal with you. Don't deal with me. So, just like going into the themes of this game real quick. People assume that it's Bloodborne, so it's about like medieval fantasy or something steampunky, right? Because oh fuck. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't properly go up the location. You think he's a big boy and you can start fighting the big Cthulhu fucking axe wielding bastard. That wasn't too hard actually, but sometimes it's just too much of a hassle and I don't want to do it. Especially if you don't have two people, you just start aggroing and throwing shit at you. And with big enemies, they tend to be not as easily staggered. You'd end up having to properly, you really have to properly position yourself then, and I don't have that kind of patience. It's not a boss, it's just a fucking regular mob. It's just like last stream, where I was fighting against like those shark guys, remember? I decided to just skip most of them, except that one time where I wanted the katana just for the completionist. I won't be able to use it yet, but probably as I go into New Game Plus and I get more stats into dexterity, because the hard cap in this game ensures that you can't go past 50 for a basic stat like strength or vigor, and you can pretty much invest in other things. Punches the ground. I'll be a bit more aggressive here because I want to keep the guy alive. The problem with this boss is he can't be parried, so you have to fight him normally and with just specific strikes and hits. That's why I don't opt to use the pistol here. If I could, I would have went the way I fought against the Orphan of Pars, which was in the last stream, where I would have tried to counterattack with the pistol whenever he came close, just so that I could do some parries. Parries don't do a lot, because I'm not a skill-based character, and more strength, but it just helps to like keep him stun locked for a bit, just like momentarily. Stop fucking, you wanna fight, bitch? You wanna fucking, yeah, come on, man, fucking little bitch ass. I think you're so fucking funny. Alright, now we're back to this shit again. So I've actually saved my bullets, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna just try and force melee for now, and then we're gonna just unload our bullets later on. I'll show you how I can do that. It's really hard to get around to him when he turns around, because the safe side is only on the side without the big arm. I really hope he doesn't die again. Please don't die. Yeah, please don't die. You know what? It's time for the big boys. Oh. Oh shit. I'm gonna throw out my lightning state. Alright. I'm just gonna keep throwing out lightning for now. Is he dead again? Fucking oh no. Oh, you're fucking kidding me. He's so close too. Oh well. I think I'll just have to be more spammy later on. Guess we'll have to just go back and spend our souls a bit. I had yeah, he was so close, but you know, if you kill the boss without him around, you won't get the special item. So we just have to deal with it. I think I'll have to upgrade my axe just like one more time just to get the consistent damage off of it. But I think the main issue is that he stopped healing, if you noticed, after he got to like that low health. So I think NPCs have a limited amount of healing that they can do, and if they don't have enough healing, then they just get pooped on. It really do, but it's so annoying because the way they made NPCs in this game just completely sucks so much dick, because they used to be way better in at least, how do you call it? They used to be way better back in the other games. What was it called? Oh, Dark Souls. Yeah, Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls 2. NPCs there were pretty good, as in they didn't completely fuck your run over because they fucking died like little bitches. They were actually helpful and they actually took aggro and did damage, but probably not necessarily the same case here. I'm just gonna buy as many bullets as I can because I have a lot of potions. So the way this works is that in Souls you had a finite amount of healing in terms of elixir, and your mana pretty much reset every time you came back to your bonfire. But for this game, you have to always stock up on your healing pots, and you always have to stock up on your bullets as well. The bullets act as your mana gauge basically. They help fuel your gun, and they also help you use your spells. So like the tiny tonitrus there, that's what helps me use my lightning strike from afar. Yeah, I want to kind of stick to the sword, honestly, but I just wasn't get used to it just for the specific occasions like this. I'm just gonna kill these guys because I wanna heal up just a bit beforehand, and probably one of them might drop pots for me. You know, you drop fucking gems, stupid fuck. Okay. Kill this guy. So what these enemies are, actually, they're just like you. They're what you call hunters. And hunters, they exist to kill the beasts, but obviously that guy got fucked over. Someone didn't stop fighting the beasts, started to fight something else. I don't know. But You know what? We'll leave the lore stuff later. We'll get rid of these boss first. He's gonna come out. Just slam them away. And just walk past. Please. Do this every time. Never gets old. Oh no, he's coming in. Oh no. Oh lad, just fuck off. Just don't fight you. Fuck off back to your fucking place. Alright, you fuck off, cunt. Alright. You what? Trying to have a fucking fight, mate? Done? You done with your shit? Don't fucking do you? Fucking stupid cunt. Honestly. Alright, you just pick up this fucking item and you can fuck off, honestly. Just fuck off, cunt. Alright. You're just gonna go summon this guy again. And then go up the steps and so it doesn't fucking try and aggro the stupid fucking thing. Alright, come up. Right, come up, snack cunt. You're fucking up my runs and you're making it fucking painful. It's not my fault you have fucking 5 pots. I have fucking 20 of them. I'm just gonna stick to a straight sword force, just straight damage, you know. I really tried to think that just to try and like play like tactically, but I really just want to go unga bunga. Like once so they can start staggering and shit. If I wasn't correctly placed there, I would have gone hit by his own spin attack again. But luckily, we are good at this game. Yeah, I got staggered, bitch. Powering through this phase is really fast, so we just don't have to do more of this bullshit. Now he's turned into a... Alright, go! Lightning! It completely missed. Alright, that'll be anything, to be honest. Nigga, please! No! Are you dead again? Oh, fuck me. Just fuck me over, man. I don't care. Just eat my fucking ass, man. I don't care, man. Alright, let's go. Yeah, CBT. Like 5,000 souls is nothing around here. See, I had aggro on him, and he just decided to walk into the fucking lava like a stupid idiot. The RNG of this game is fucking terrible, man. Oh god, I just need some more real quick. Alright, got a sip of water, so mouth isn't too dry. We had the bullets from earlier, so probably not gonna try and use the nitrous this time. I'm gonna use another spell actually. It's something called oh yeah, I think I'll use this instead. Basically, it helps heal allies on you. probably would be useful if the guy fucking dies again, or is near death, and you can just heal him. I don't know how much it does, I've never used it before. Hey, what's up, James? Welcome to the stream. Right now, we're just, we're fighting the Lawrence, because I left him to the last. If you know, you missed the Orphan of Cause playthrough, but oh well, you know, sometimes it'd be like that. Timings and stuff, I guess I should have streamed too late, but here we are. So back in this area, and we're just gonna, again, wait for the flaming ball of bullshit to walk down and kill these fuckers for me. And then we'll just run back up again. And, there's one of you, what are you doing here? Ah, okay, I see. Alright. If you can come back, you can just stop by whenever. Alright, we're just gonna go up again. You didn't see me. I was never here. That's why I thought, bitch, I wasn't here. Yeah, if you're... Thanks, man. If you're here later, you can probably see if you can fight Amygdala and the final bosses. Depending how long I'll take fighting this guy. Okay. Right. Come on. Up we go again. Here we go. Have a lot of fun with you, you know? This fucking little shit bag. Right, don't fight the guy, just come to me. Yep, alright. Yep, back at it again. Oh boy, I love fighting Lawrence. Lawrence would be so easy if you had 30% less health and you didn't have, Oh, wow. Are you serious? Oh, fuck. I was trying to heal him too. But I guess you don't get super armor when you're casting a spell. God damn. Fuck, I guess I can't use the bell anymore. I'm just not gonna use the bell. I believe it's 44 minutes just trying to fight this boss over and over to no real success. I mean, we got close, but then a NPC died. So it's annoying because, well, you gotta make sure you do enough damage to push the boss past phases, and then you also gotta do enough so you take aggro off your ally. And you also gotta micromanage a lot of things, especially the lava as well. Oh, today's a Monday, actually. Okay. What's kind of just a shame is that streaming at this time probably isn't too ideal because it's probably a school day for most people, but for me, I actually have no classes due to the national holiday. Oh, we're gonna eat the fuck out. Oh shit. Nah, man. We lost 2 pots there, but again, it's not about having too many heals, but it's more about timing yourself properly. You probably don't need more than 20 heals, as long as you just keep your body alive. It's just annoying because sometimes I wish I could trade health pot slots for more bullets, but obviously you can't do that because of the way the game works. You're not allowed to do that, I think. You can trade health for more bullets still, but the problem with the gun I'm using is that it eats like 12, I think. Oh my fucking god. Just come up here, man. We're not fighting that guy. It's just what happens when you jack off too much with like one arm actually. This guy is clearly left-handed. He really likes to jack off. So his arm's so fucking big. Please don't die. You're half health, my guy. Get a heal off there. Yeah, I need to remember not to dodge away because... God, okay, this is starting to piss me off. Oh man, I don't like this boss at all. This is why I left him to last, because he is such a pain. Yeah, even worse than the final boss actually, because like people are saying like, oh, the final boss is really difficult, but I had really no issue with him. Damn, dude, you're such a pain in the ass. Okay. Go back around. And then he'll drop the... Oh man, I really don't like this part. There's just so much buffer time and waiting and doing shit. I don't care. Let me get the boss quick. It's annoying because like there should be a way for you to get the boss quick, but they just don't allow you to. They just have to make you slog through this entire fucking bullshit over and over and over. And it's not like the boss is easy either, so it's not like you'll be making a few trips, you're making multiple fucking trips. I might try something. No, actually, there's no real way to cheese anything in this boss. You just have to do it straight and fair. Alright, I'm probably just gonna try and like not talk too much because I want to get this done. He did his grab attack, yep. Yeah, yeah, it's funny. It's really cool, man. Please don't die. Fuck, I give up, honestly. I'm just gonna... No, I died as well anyway. There's no real counter. I don't know what else to say, honestly. Let's just check chat real quick, see if anyone else is coming. I thought Lewis would be here, but I think Lewis has a school. Yeah, everyone else fucking school. I should have streamed like 5 maybe. Maybe I'll do that for the next boss. Amygdala. I thought he was at school. Like, he mentioned last night he had to, like, sleep early for school or something before last stream. We've tried this boss 9 times now. God damn. I don't know, for him it did, I think. Like, I don't know about some people, but some people do have school, despite, I think despite the quarantine, because you have the online classes and stuff, or like uni or whatever. It is whack, but it is what it is, I guess. There's not really much else to say. It's annoying that this boss can't these, what do you call it? Basically, sometimes you can stagger them with a charge L2 and do like a riposte, but apparently this guy can't really do that. It also spins around, that's fun. Yeah, if you position yourself correctly, you won't get hit here. But obviously, there's more damage here, and endurance-wise, it's hard to predict. If you look at the board here. Oh, fuck me. I gotta get out. Dead soon. Just gonna have to push through. Gonna have to just, yeah, I just don't care anymore. Fuck it, fuck. It's dying. It's dying, yes! Yes! Woo! Woo! Oh yeah! We did it, boys. We did fuck up timings, but, you know, at least we did it. And now we have the vermin item. So yeah, we have 3 of these now. I actually used 2 of them. And basically you want to use 5 of these items before you complete the quest line. Actually, I'm just going to go double check that real quick. Okay, so I just have to use the item, yeah. I'll just use them one at a time just to be safe, and then we'll go talk to the guy. So yeah, what you do is just throw the centipede on the ground and you step on it. And then, yeah. And then each time you do that, you're supposed to get a +1 rank in the Covenant. Covenants are like the same in Souls. So depending on the Covenant you're in, you get different priorities or different bonuses when you do co-op. So like these guys, the Confederates, what they do is they help other people, and if you do, you get the vermin item. And the vermin item, yeah, it gives you the stuff, but obviously because I don't have online, you do it this way. And then you'll find a guy here. You talk to him. Okay, it hasn't changed the dialogue yet. Let's okay, we'll use the other 2 now then. Hey, step on it. Hey, you like that? Yeah, and now we have to use the last one, and then you should be able to acknowledge that we've done what is right. Step on it, and let's go. Ah, there it is.
Your eyes say all. You've crushed vermin time and time again. You've seen the filth that varnishes the world of man. Yet, you are unbroken. You've
I do
eyes
indeed.
of a hunter. You have blessed the League with your presence. This was my last, most pressing us of our impurities for the sake of our fellows. Oh, blood-stained hunters of the League. I confess for the sake.
Alright, so now that we've got the dialogue from him, we should be able to reload the area, and then he'll give us a special item. So we're just gonna go back to the Hunter's Dream. Hunter's Dream is basically just like a hub world where that you can go from there to teleport to all your other locations, and it's different from Souls, in which in Souls you pretty much just teleport for any bonfire, but in here it's more hassly because you can't really level up or heal in every part of the map anywhere. You have to go back to the Hunter's Dream and then go back to the overworld, which, yeah, I guess a bit annoying, but it makes sense from a plot wise. If you follow through like the entire thing, you understand like the nuance and all that. You'd understand that. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Kinda. Still doesn't make it less annoying though, but you know, what can I do? So what I want to do now is I'm gonna go back inside, and I'll see that he has dropped an item. Master's Iron Helm. Okay, so what this thing does, it's basically just his helmet. You get a little bucket on your head with just one hole peeping out, like, I can see you. I'm gonna crush all the vermin, fam. But I don't really like to use it. It's just I just like to use it. I just like to be completionist, just have every item because that feels nice. And as we go out, we should be invaded. Yeah, there's this guy here, and he should drop the item that we need. Eat lad ass. Oh shit. I missed my first shot, which is annoying, but oh shit, there's so many of you. Easy punish, and we're dead. He's dead. I saw it. I saw it. I saw it. Alright. Epic gamer moments right there. And I think that we should be nearing the end of the stream now, because I think I've done what I want for this playthrough. Probably gonna try and stream later on at 5. At least my time would be 5. GMT probably +7. That'd be it's hard. It's probably like, okay, I'll just say like, okay, 4 to 6 hours from now I'll be streaming again. Okay, so I just want to show the item I got real quick. The item I got is part of the few spells you can get. Oh, what? Oh, I need Blood Tinge for it. Oh, never mind. What it does is it summons like a mouth from the ground, and it like bites up. So there are quite a lot of few spells in this game. One of the favorite ones I like is this one. So what I do is I activate it with square, and then I can shoot out tentacles. I can shoot out the tentacles. That's pretty funny. And actually, there's a lot of like references to like tentacly Lovecraftian stuff here. That's kind of like the premise of the game. It's not just all about the medieval stuff, but also there's this item here. So if I use this item, I get this weird looking disgusting alien head. And now it also lets me use a specific weapon called the Cost Parasite. Okay, so what it does is, okay, it just looks like a regular, it just makes my hand longer with like a little knife here, and it's just like, now I have like a little tentacle. and then when I transform it with, like I do with other weapons, I have 2 now. Now I can just like use both of them, and I can slap both of them in front of me. Okay, that's funny, but you know, it's, yeah, Tentacle Man, show me what you got. You know, I don't really like to use this, but it's just funny. It's a novelty, sort of funny way. But I prefer just, you know, just going really straightforward. Another cool weapon you can get is, if you obviously if you don't want the stupid tentacle arm milkweed bullshit, you get this other weapon. So first, it looks like a regular hammer, right? You can just like slam it forward in front of you and just like pummel people to death with it. But then you can also transform it, and then you see like it extends out, and then it'll become a tentacle kind of whip. When you slam it down, yeah, it'll do that little, it'll do like a little ooh. I think this weapon is really cool, but at the moment I don't have the upgrade materials to fully forge it, so I'm just gonna like kind of keep it as a back option for now. There's a lot of really cool weapons in this game too, so like, oh, here's another one. It's a fucking wheel. You think, oh, it's a wheel, right? What can you do with a wheel? You can throw it in front of you, and you can like spin around. You know, do like a little mace gimmick, and you can actually split it out too, and it'll start like spinning out, and then like doing this thing, yeah. And then there's no real, you don't get charge attack for this, but it's just pretty cool to look at. The lore behind this is that the wheel is a weapon used by this hunter that killed like many specific kinds of people with it. So it was like, they were called like they're like a vampire sort of clan, and they would and he killed so many of them, their evil spirits infected the weapon and it powered it up, surprisingly. So yeah. So weapon wielded by Martial Logarius' band of executioners, used to slaughter the vile bloods and Canehurst, bathed in pools of their blood, and forever steeped in their ire, yeah. Transform release the power of the wheel and manifest their lingering rage. That's how it works. Other weapons are like, there's this lightning mace you can like spark up. It's not really funny, it's not really anything special, you just whack people with it, but it's pretty straightforward, it's good for some fights. There's the whirly jigsaw, which if you saw, it was what Walter used just now. So you get like a mace as your first starting weapon, and then you can change it into like an axe mace thing, and it just starts spinning around, and then you can like do these cool combos with it. I think it's pretty interesting too. But the way weapons work with this in Souls is that you don't get a lot of the mats to upgrade them to +10. So you end up thinking, oh, I think it's better just for me to stick to one weapon. So for me, I wanted to stick to the Holy Moonlight Sword and the axe, but even then, I kind of tend to use the axe anyway. Now this one, it's a hammer, and what you do with it is you smack people with it, and when you light it on fire, it has like this little trail effect. And what you can do is, after you charge it up, you can like bring it down and smash it in front of you for like a little cool boomy explosion effect. That's what one of the enemies used just earlier, but I'm not really using it right now because I've heard it's not that good. But maybe in the future. Here's maybe in the NG Plus we'll probably try it out. Here's another one. So it's called a straight driver. Normally it just works like a handsaw kind of thing, but what you can do is you can charge it like this, and then you can like when you hold a strong attack, you can let it rip like you drive a stake in, like that. There's a lot of other weapons here too that I can't use, like the rifle spear, the Rakuyo, the Chikage. The Rakuyo and Chikage. All I can say for these weapons is, if you want to cosplay a fucking weeb, go ahead and use these. They're fucking katanas, mate. That's pretty straightforward. And there's the Reiter Palash, which is a gun rapier. It's pretty cool. Simon's Bowblades is a sword that can transform the bow. I can't really use it right now because I can't wield it. This is one of my favorite weapons actually, but it's really early. I haven't tended to use it as much because I don't like it. But it's pretty cool. So it's a regular straight sword, and then you can like sheath it, put it back in the sheath, and it becomes a great sword. Hello, who's this? I just got done killing the boss for this playthrough, and I'm probably gonna start streaming again later. This is also another version which you also get a straight sword, but then you can turn it into a hammer. You can start banging people to death with it. I've been meaning to use this, but I find it's really clunky, so I haven't actually had the time to get around to learning how to use it. Obviously, my favorite weapon is still the Moonlight Greatsword, which I've been using this entire time. And all it does really is that it has extended range, and then you can use it to throw like laser beam, like these like beams of light out. And it gives like a nice long range option if you're like in PvP, or if you want to whittle a boss down from far, you can also do that. And if you're near, what happens is that it connects both the beam attack and the hit of your sword, so it does like double damage, which is pretty cool. Okay. it actually is the damage. Right now I have it on 672 AR, so I do quite a bit with it, at least enough that I can kill most bosses. But let me just show real quick. I actually really need to use the pooper, but oh well. You know, we just like I'll just finish this real quick, and then I'll end the stream. Okay, so I'm just gonna go fight up one of the enemies there, just to showcase the weapons showcase. So regular form, you get like a straight sword, right? And then you can transform it. And yeah. What's also cool about these weapons is that while you're attacking like that, you can like switch it mid-form, and you can swing it again, which is really good in terms of like your some switch up options. So if you wanna like keep it in the untransformed version just for the parry option. So like, okay, if I do the charge attack here, it does like 970 as opposed to normally like 400 or 600. If I were to shoot out the beam on its own, then oh, hold on, there's a dog here. I want to kill that real quick. Oh, the dog's not here. Okay. Alright, we'll leave it that way. So if I wanted to, I'll just show it real quick. If I wanted to go up to this guy. Oh shit, there's two of them. So that's what it does like on its own, right? The 600 you saw. Now if I shoot it out, it does a bit less. But that's of course just a beam. Pure Arcane. How do I say this? If you want to go pure Arcane, it's you'd probably want to go for the cost parasite. Or if you don't want to do the cost parasite, you could try other weapons like the amygdala arm, or maybe the tonitrus. But generally the thing is with pure Arcane is only if you want to use the spells like, you know, the Augur of Abrietas, which is a little tentacle thing, or if you want to be like a healer using the Choir Bell, or if you want to use stuff like the Empty Phantasm Shell, the Tiny Tonitrus. The Empty Phantasm Shell is pretty decent early on if you want to like buff your weapon with your arcane power, but I don't really recommend going. I think with a lot of Souls games, I don't really recommend going with just one pure stat, because the problem with just going one pure stat is you'd only be invested in that one stat, and it doesn't allow for flexibility when using other weapons. So for example, if I wanted to go strength, just strength, I'd want to try and invest in like dexterity or arcane, because then doing so I can use weapons that have split functionality, or split stat requirements. So like for example, Holy Moonlight Sword, or if I wanted to go quality, I could use the Hunter Axe, and I could use the Ludwig's Holy Blade, or I could use the Stake Driver, the Boom Hammer, the Whirligig Saw, etc. The only pure and Logarius Wheel and the Holy Moonlight Sword is good for Strength Arcane build, which is what I'm doing right now, just purely because you scale off of both, and it's really beneficial if you get points into Strength. More into Strength because you want to do more physical damage, and then some into Arcane for extra damage later on. The Arcane purely just so you can have mix-up options. Yeah, but the problem with turning it into Arcane weapon is that some enemies can resist arcane damage, so it's generally better to have physical options, then you can transform it into arcane or fire or lightning using item buffs. So like for example, I could use the fire paper here, and this would apply fire damage to my weapon, and I can use that, and it will stack on top of the physical damage I already have, which is better than just making it pure arcane and scaling off of the fire, because then the damage won't be as beneficial. And again, the problem with arcane is that you really have to farm the correct gems for it, because otherwise if you don't have the correct gems, you would go bust in terms of damage. And if you want to get the correct gems, you have to go to do the chalice dungeons, which are really difficult alone, in my opinion. If you do it alone, you're gonna really have a really bad time. It's really difficult. If you had friends though, and you go online, then yeah, easily, if you wanted to just run through it with your friends, that is easily an option as well. Most mobs are weak to bolt and fire, but when you find towards the end, most of the enemies start having resistances, and in PvP, I think, generally people are more susceptible to split damage from your physical stat and then your buff stat. Okay, I'm just gonna go off real quick. I just need to do something, and then I'll be back just to if you want. If you have any more questions, I'll come back and I can answer them. Okay, see you, Guang. Okay. Ha so about blood tinge. Okay, blood tinge. Blood tinge is a decent stat, but how to do blood tinge? You'd want to. You've already killed the one reborn. Okay. 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 You're way better than me. um, let me see. So, if you want to try blood tinge, you could. That's any build in this game is pretty fun to do, except arcane blood tinge because that's fucking awful. Don't ever do that. Generally, what you want to do for blood tinge is you want to prioritize getting the Chikage, which, as you can see on screen, it gets C scaling off of blood tinge. It probably goes up to B or A, I think, at plus 10. And you could either go for that, or you could go for the blood letter for a strength blood tinge option. The blood letter is heavier, but obviously if you want to capitalize off of strength and just having harder hits, then you could go for the blood letter with a blood tinge strength build. Or if you're really good at parries, then going for the Chikage for a skill blood tinge build would also be not bad, especially or Reiter Palash, or even Simon's Bowblade. There's also the I think that's it for blood tinge main hands. The rifle spear is also an option, but I think the movement set's kind of ass, so it's kind of something you want to keep in mind liberally as an early game weapon, but not as main hand. Other weapons, we could try the Evelyn. The Evelyn has a B scaling in, just right off the bat, a B scaling in blood tinge, so it does a lot. Scales really well. It's a really good option for your offhand. And I think that's mainly it, honestly. You just want to get the Evelyn as your main left-hand weapon, and then your right-hand weapon can be pretty flexible between the options I showed. So Simon's Bowblade, Reiter's Palash, Chikage. Probably Chikage is the most viable option, or the Blood Letter. If you want it. Yeah, only once you transform them and they have like the bloody effect that they start scaling off your blood tinge, yes. That's why I recommend you'd want to invest in a substat instead of just pure blood tinge, because the substat, depending on if you want to use the Chicago, personally I think if you want to go for flexibility, you could go for blood tinge skill, because that will allow you to use weapons like the Reiter Palash and Simon's Bowblade, or even sorry, not Charge Pick, something like yeah, those weapons basically, or Rifle Spear. Rifle Spear you can get it really early as well. It just has like options, because the more options you have, the more flexibility you have in approaching bosses and stuff like that. Once you approach bosses specifically, you understand how to yeah. Let me think. If you don't want to level up strength, yeah, just go skill blood tinge. Just focus on those two stats. And the most important thing when you want to build is that take my stat base for example. Generally, you'd want to go 50 vitality. That's the most important thing. You'd want to ensure that towards halfway through the game, you want to have at least 30 vitality, because I cannot express this is the most important stat to have for your build, because because a lot of the enemies hit hard, and if you want to start like exploring and farming the chalice dungeons, you'd want to have the baseline of 50 vitality so you don't get pummeled to death really fast. Endurance is a bit of a dumb stat. The maximum you really want to go is 20. Or if you want to, you don't have to put any. You don't have to invest any points in it at all. The reason for this is because I'll just show real quick. one swing on my sword only uses that much of my stamina, and if I dodge, it uses barely anything at all. So just doing that only takes up half of my health bar, of my stamina bar even. That's why, generally, I think if you're, hold on. Sorry about the, I had to cut off just because there's some background noise there. Yeah, vitality, up it. Just prioritize vitality first. At least until you're 30, then you can start dumping points into other stats, like your, like skill and blood tinge. For endurance, again, it's either you put some points in it or you don't put any at all. The good players tend to, the really good players, at least the ones that are really experienced, they tend to tell you that you don't want to put any points in endurance, but endurance, in my opinion, is good to put a bit in, just for the sake of flexibility when you're fighting a lot of enemies. So sometimes, for example, if I want to switch to the Hunter Axe, for example, which is like which is the weapon I started off with. The Hunter Axe, it has a really, really good charge up, which lets you do a spin attack, and sometimes I want to do like a follow up. You see, it takes a lot, but by having this extra amount of endurance, it lets me do it twice. And this helps if I'm against like a large mob of enemies, because it helps me clear them. But probably towards the end, if you're not doing for something specific like that, you don't have to put too many points in endurance. Maybe 15 to 20 is enough. That's kind of like the recommended amount. And then obviously you want to pick your primary stat. So if you want to go 50, you want to go 50 in your primary stat. No worries. Okay, so you'd want to go 50 in your primary stat, which could be, so if you want to go blood tinge, 50 in blood tinge, go ahead. That's alright. And then you can go 40 in skill or 50 in skill. The maximum you want to go for most stats is 50, with the exception of arcane, because all stats are hard capped at around 50. Vitality is hard capped at 50, soft capped at 25. Strength and skill and blood tinge are also hard capped at 50 and soft capped at 25. If you go above 50, you get little to no benefit from upgrading it past 50. So you want to go stay at 50 and then invest your points in another substat if you want. So, like I said, that would be for if you want to use the Rakuyo, for example, or if you want to use what was it called? The Writer's Palace and the Chikage. Then you could put 50 in blood tinge, and then you put the rest in. You can put the rest in skill. I can't really demonstrate the skill weapons because obviously this isn't a skill-based character. So I myself am not too sure on how I should advise on how skill-based weapons work and how builds involving them work. But that's kind of I can just kind of give like the general basis. Once you play it yourself and start like playing around with the points, obviously you wouldn't want to willy-nilly invest your points because there's no respec option in this game, unlike in Dark Souls 3, where in Dark Souls 3 you could I remember you could trade in the tongues from Rosaria, and you could obviously just allocate stats wherever you wish, and which was really fun because then that means for any character you had, you could just switch builds in the middle of the game because you felt like it, or you felt like I invested too much in the wrong stat and you want to just like change it around a bit. That was a really really nice option, but I don't know why they didn't include that in Bloodborne. It's good that you're still level 10 though, because now you're pretty much free to go up to do whatever you want past to up to 120 to see to pick what weapons you want to use and all that. So going back again, I think that's all for now. Actually, I don't really have much else to say. If you have any more questions, or is that all good? Okay. Just want to buy some stuff real quick, I think. Though, what's interesting about Bloodborne is that because of the aforementioned hard cap, once you get to NG plus, and you have more spare souls to use, you can choose to pretty much put points in whatever else you want. So what I was thinking that when I wanted to go into NG plus was I think I was gonna go and invest more points into dexterity, just because I think there are a lot of really cool dexterity weapons in this game, like the Blade of Mercy, for example, or the Church Pick. But the problem with these weapons is that you don't get them until really late if you want to follow through the quest lines. So if that's with the Blade of Mercy, you can only get it from following Eileen's quest line, and the only way to get it early is if you gimp her quest line by letting her die. Either by letting her die to Henrik in the Oiden grave, tomb, I think, Oiden tomb, or if you cheese her by having her jump off the ledge in the cheese strat, where you lure her past the raptors behind her first location, and she jumps off and kills herself. Then you can jump down and either loot her item if she's dead, or you can throw molotovs at her until she dies. And then stuff like the Simon's Bowblade as well, you can only get this in the DLC. And the only way to speedrun getting this item is by killing Simon as well, but if you don't want to kill him, you gotta follow through and clear the entire quest. Reiter Palace is interesting because getting to Kanehurst Castle isn't too hard, but going through the area is. You really wanna like watch your footing and make your way carefully throughout the area as you walk through it, because there are a lot of like really strong enemies in the area. Even when I was like level 70 or 80, I just didn't bother. I went there, I got killed a few times, I just went like, I'll come back later. I only came back when I was like around level 100. Then there's the Chikage as well. The Chikage, you can only get it from joining the Vile Bloods, and then you can buy it for about like 50,000. It's really expensive. It's a really expensive weapon, but it has the style points, I have to admit. Then there's the Rakuyo. The Rakuyo is a pure skill weapon that you can only get from killing a specific boss. No spoilers. If I did, try not to spoil yourself, because a lot of surprises, and you'd want to try and keep it all together. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it a day for now. Like, there's only like 2 viewers on stream right now. I feel that, I guess the timing right now isn't too appropriate. Like, all I really did in this last hour was kill Lawrence. But what I plan to doing later is that I plan to fight. I plan to clear the Nightmare Frontier area, and then kill the final boss, which is through here. So, in terms of spoilers, I'm probably gonna, if I stream that, I'm probably gonna have to highlight that it's a spoiler stream, and if you guys aren't interested in watching spoilers, or if you want to experience the game yourself, then you could probably not watch the stream. But if you want to, that'd be pretty nice as well. I could always do with more viewers. But anyway, for now, I don't have much else to do. At least not in this current time, but there are 3 viewers, so if you guys want, I could ask, do you guys want to see, oh wait, there's 1 left now. Okay, okay. There's only one, oh, there's only you left now, I guess. Okay, I think I'll call it a day. And I'll start streaming. Who are you again? Are you from one of my circles? How did you get the link to the stream? Probably 5 to 6 hours from now. How did you get the link to the stream, by the way? Did you go through my channel, or are you from one of the servers or chats I'm in? Yeah, but anyway, I will probably go live in probably 5 to 6 hours from now, which is... Oh, okay. So you just oh, okay, okay, that's cool, that's cool. I thought you'd be... Ah, okay, okay. Alright, that's interesting, because I didn't know people would be... this would show up on people's feeds on YouTube. I just thought, like, the way the algorithm works, it kind of screw me over because of how people... Oh, thank you. Thank you for the subscribe. Generally, I don't make a lot of content or commentaries or really edit videos because I'm really shit at editing videos, and I only got this console recently. So that way, I just end up streaming now, just so I can show people like how I'm playing. I wanted to stream like the rest of the game prior, but I didn't know what I wanted to do about that, so I just didn't think it was that interesting yet until I got to the DLC, and I thought I could have streamed the Orphan of Cause fight, but I screwed up that and the entire area because my mic wasn't working. I have like a whole video of that, a whole like silent playthrough. You could like have a look if you want to, just to see like tricks in which I clear the area efficiently. But other than that, it's not really good video. I wouldn't really want to watch it if I were just like some random, but it's up to you. It's the options there. But yeah, probably 5 to 7 hours from now, 4 to 7. Yeah, I'll see how I feel. But 4 to 7 hours from now, I will start streaming again. But for now, I'm gonna have to call it not really a day, just exit for now, and I'll be back later. Okay. Alright, thanks for watching, YT. I guess if you're around, I'll see you later. Okay, see ya.